Hi there, I'm Mark McKenzie, Mark the Guitar Guy. Today we're going to be looking at picking. We're going to be looking at a lot of the right hand stuff and especially what we call speed picking. Another name for that is alternate picking. Now I'm going to be using my trusty electric Variax guitar. Doesn't really matter what we're going to do this on, it's just about picking. You can do it on an acoustic guitar, you can do it on an electric guitar. Doesn't really matter what you use, as long as you've got a pick and a guitar, we'll be fine. So to start with, just make sure you've got good picking technique. If you need to, refer back to my How to Hold a Pick video. That'll help out a lot. If you haven't already, just subscribe so you can be part of all these videos that are coming out. It'll make a lot more sense. And it'll show you how to hold the pick exactly the way I like to get you to hold a pick, and it'll increase your speed. So I guess what is speed picking is the first question we're going to ask. What I'll do is I'll just play a little bit of right hand technique stuff just to show you the idea behind the speed picking. So it's basically fast down up strokes. All we're doing is down up strokes, very small, and eventually becomes very fast. And that's quite easy to do. The main thing is to be relaxed when you're doing these techniques. If you find yourself at any point holding the pick quite hard or anything like that, you're doing it wrong. You need to relax, chill out for a bit, just hold the pick very, very lightly. Everything should be quite relaxed and light, and you'll actually be a lot faster. The other thing is, don't rush too much. Don't try and get to that stage straight away today. Try and get more accurate with down up strokes, and you'll find that a lot easier. Now there's two different styles of ways that people speed pick. Some people like to have their little finger on the guitar and use that as a supporting point, or maybe a couple of fingers even, and just use that as a little grounding point, just like this. And that's sort of a nice little pivot point, and also a good reference point for where our strings are, so you don't have to look down at your guitar constantly to see which string you're picking. You can sort of learn where the distance between each string that way. The other way that people play is sort of they hold their pick, this is not the way I do it, but they hold the pick and have their hand sort of scrunched up in a fist sort of shape, and they anchor their wrists on the top end of the guitar. That gives them that sort of style of picking. But either way, something needs to be anchored onto the guitar. You can't just have a completely floating arm, because that's going to be kind of weird. You want to have something in contact with the guitar, either the top half of your arm, the part of your palm, or the bottom of your hand. Either way, you need something kind of to lever off so you can start off with that picking. Another good idea to have before we get right into the technique side of things is a metronome. A metronome will help you keep solid timing, and also it's a good way of measuring how fast you're getting, because you can measure how, like, move up the beats per minute when you're progressing, and when you come back to it the next day, you can see where you got up to, start a bit behind that and work your way up and see if you can pass that. So each time just setting yourself a goal of getting past that. So I'm going to play a little bit of speed picking for you. Real basic stuff. I'm not going to be too flashy about it. I'm going to keep a clean sound on my guitar amp so you can hear everything that's going on. A lot of times you can put distortion on and it can sound quite cool, but unfortunately you can't hear exactly what's going on a lot of the time. So I'm going to make it really easy for you. We're just going to start with the bottom string, just doing down up strokes, real simple. Now the idea of this is not to pick too far. We don't want you to go big picks. This is too much. It's too much. Bring it to little small movements. Just basic. Don't speed up at this stage, just continuous down up. This nice slow tempo. Most of that is coming from the elbow. Okay, so when we're playing from here, we want this to be moving a little bit, but most of it is coming from right at the back up near my elbow. So it's actually pivoting. It's hard to tell on such a small stroke like that, but it's actually pivoting from my elbow. My whole arm is moving from the elbow down. And that is where the speed's going to come from. Eventually, it'll come from there. It's not just your wrist or just your fingers, like some people try just getting their fingers going. I don't know, for me, that's never really worked out that cool. It's just nicer coming from the elbow. So that's the first place to start, just by picking one string, down, up, and then maybe with the metronomes, you've got a click happening on the first of each downstroke. And you just speed that up. And at any point where you start getting a bit out of sync or this sort of thing happening, you're going too fast, it's not quite ready yet, go back a little bit and work your way up again. That shows you where your limit is with the right hand side of things with speed picking. So I'm going to show you one really simple exercise to develop our speed picking for this video today. Something really easy to do, and it's going to develop the left hand and the right hand together, because it's all very well to pick fast, but we need both of those hands to work in sync with each other. So we're going to do a basic exercise which you might have already learnt, really simple. I call it the 1, 2, 3, 4. What we're going to do is we're going to simply play on the top string, 1, 2, 3, 4. First fret, second fret, third fret, fourth fret. Real simple. And we're going to do right hand picking down, up, down, up. So down for the 1, up for the 2, down for the 3, up for the 4. Then once we've done that, we move down to the next string. So on the 5th string, same thing. Down, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up. When you're doing this exercise, make sure your left hand, when you first start that, is nice and low. Your hand is stretched out. So we're not going 1, 2, 3, 4. You see the way I did that? We're not going one individual fingers. We're laying them down one after the other. So when we get to the 4th note, all our fingers are down. My thumb position's really low, so I can stretch really wide. And then you go to the next string, down, up, and then confidently move down the guitar. A little tip for this is to make sure your thumb rises as your fingers go lower. So you see how my fingers at the bottom, my thumb comes up. So when I started, my thumb was low, and each string I went up, my thumb just gently made its way to the top. Something a little bit subliminal going on there. But once you get it really slow, and just get it really slow and accurate, all the notes accurate, and the timing good, the constant down, up, that's the way to do it. No rush. If this is how fast you're doing it, that's fine. That's really good, as long as you've got lots of good clean notes. Now once you get there, go backwards. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then work your way back to the beginning again. It's a really good warm-up before you start playing guitar at the beginning of the day. Loosens up your fingers and does some cool stuff for you. Once you get to there, go up 1 fret and do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're working your way. It's going to speed up a bit, and then you might want to go up a fret each time when you get to the end of it. So you go up because we're at the end, and up, etc. etc, etc. Obviously I've made a few little mistakes in there. It's not really a big deal, but just showing you what the idea is there. Keep it steady, don't get carried away like I did then. Keep it steady to a tempo and work your way up to as high as you can go on the guitar. It's a really good idea. Your fingers will be absolutely cooking by the end of it, and it should feel really good. Have some fun with that, and we'll see you again for another episode in the series. See you soon.